Alright, survivors, welcome back to ARK Analyzed. In this video, we'll be diving into the Glacier Cave on Ragnarok Ascended, where I'll be covering all the important details you need to know before heading in. From boss fight strategy, supply drop coordinates, to the artifact's location, this guide will cover it all. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first thing you need to know about this cave is that it has two entrances. The recommended entrance to enter from is located at 31 latitude, 37.8 longitude. The secondary entrance can be found at 31.3, 33.7, just behind this waterfall. Both entrances lead into the same section of this cave called the Glacier Hall, so you can safely enter in from either one if you want, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll be entering in the larger entrance in this video. So as far as recommendations, the Pyromane turns this challenging cave into straight, easy mode, and it's highly recommended if you want to get in and out safely. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay tutorial of drop locations and what to expect once you're inside. Coming through this entrance, there is a pretty big drop off here, but the Pyromane doesn't take any fall damage, so we'll be all right. We are going to take the lower path here. We could technically flame leap probably over to the left or the right, but we're actually going to go down here because this is going to be our first drop location. This drop here is located at 32.4 latitude, 35.8 longitude. See what kind of loot we got. Okay. Pretty mid, but not too bad. Alright, so you're actually going to come straight out here in front. This is going to bring us up higher to the upper path here. I do want to point out there is a drop that spawns here as well to our left. And this is located at 33.3, 33.5. So we got here. Oh, nice. It's pretty decent. Also to mention, I am in a single player server in this footage, and so there isn't a clamp on the quality of the gear that drops, so it will appear a little higher. Right here to our left is a pathway. This is actually the second entrance that we showed in the beginning of the video. So if you went through that waterfall entrance, this is where you'd end up. It's the upper path. But yeah, if you're trying to get all the drops, it's typically easier to go through the larger path. We're going to try and get past these dire bears here, because these dire bears are really high level and pretty strong. So, but here is our third drop location at 31.8, 35.2. Okay, that was a really bad drop. So now we just want to follow this path here, this bridge, and we're actually going to make a left up here, because right here to the right, that big hole there in the wall, that's actually going to lead into the next area, which is the ice tunnel. So we're going to make a left and go down here, because here is another drop location. And this is located at 33 latitude, 36.5 longitude. Okay. Heck yeah. Megatherium blueprint. Pretty good. There's going to be one more drop location that we're going to hit up. I don't know if it's spawned in here. It might not be. Oh, no, it is. Awesome. And this is located at 33.3, 34.4. Heck yeah, Stego saddle. We love that. Especially we're trying to soak turrets in PvP. All right. Once again, these dire bears, really try to avoid them if you can, because you don't really want to have to fight them before the boss, because they'll take a lot of your health away. Okay, so when we get over here, we have two options. We can take this right path or we can go straight. I will just go ahead and show you this path over here to the right is a complete dead end. There's actually nothing here, just, you know, some cool little, um, cool little design that they did here. But other than that, there's nothing really in there but some crystal that you can harvest. So we're just going to ignore that and we're going to go straight. And we're going to have to crouch underneath here. This is the reason the Pyromane is pretty good for here, because you will be able to shrink it onto your shoulder and just run through this cave, or get through the crouch point and get into the tighter areas of this cave. You can always use cryopotted creatures, and uncryo them in here like a Thyla or something, and it'll work perfectly fine. But once you get to this area here, you're gonna have three different pathways you could take. Straight ahead is gonna be the most ideal path because it's gonna lead to the most drops. We have this path over here to the right, which is also a dead end with some crystal in it. So this is pretty much pointless. So don't go right. And then the left path here is kind of like a shortcut to the boss fight. So we're actually gonna not go down this pathway. It's also alternatively an exit. If you don't want to fight the boss, you can come back up this direction. So the most ideal pathway is over here. So we're going to come down into this hole. And once you go down here, you can't go back up. So you pretty much will have to commit now. And this is where we're going to encounter ice worms. So you'll encounter them almost immediately. Yeah. Second you come through that little tunnel. And they're not too strong. As you can see, they're doing about 88 damage to the Pyromane. The Pyromane doesn't have like the craziest armor reduction or like damage reduction with its, natural armor. So 88 is a little on the high end. You'd take a lot less if you had like a capped saddle on a Thyla or something. Yeah. Okay. So we killed them. We're gonna come right over here. Another one. One thing to mention too, I do recommend that you try to clear out all the ice worms if you can while you're going through the cave, because if not, they can sometimes sneak up on you while you're grabbing drops. So it's generally recommended to try and kill them all. So we are going to have to fight quite a few on our way there. I think on average, you're probably going to have to kill at least like 11 or 12, give or take. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's right around there. You might get lucky and fight less, but... So we're going to make a right, obviously, over here. We're going to encounter our next drop. It looks like we got one here in the mesh, yeah. Hanging out. I've noticed this is pretty common, actually, this ice worm. I don't know if it's a single player problem or if you'll run into it on official as well, or whatever server you're playing on. That ice worm does seem to get stuck in the wall right there, so be careful of that. Alright, so this drop here is located at 36.6, 38.4. Pretty mid. Not gonna lie, but that's all right. Looks like we do have an ice worm. Okay. Yeah, okay. I can hear him, but he's taking his time. So go ahead and actually use the flame boost roar. All right. Okay, so there is actually a secret drop here. Normally there is a crystal that you have to destroy to crouch underneath here, but it looks like from when I ran this cave earlier, it looks like the crystal is still destroyed. So just a heads up, you will need a pick or a hatchet to break it to get underneath here, but again, it looks like it hasn't respawned yet, so... But yeah, there's another drop back here, and it's located at 35.8, 38.4. Oh, nice. It's pretty good crossbow. This is single player though. Come back up through here. And we have about 2 more drops in this section. Or actually, yeah, I think it's 2. We have 2 more here. And then we have 1 more right before the boss. So we're going to make a left here instead of going straight. And we have another drop. One good thing about this area as well, ice worms cannot typically come in here because of the ceiling. So this is at 36 latitude, 37.2 longitude. All right, not too bad. We'll take it. So we're going to make a left right up here. And then we're going to go right down this hallway. This ice worm here, you can kind of actually ignore if you want to. There normally is one that kind of guards this area, but you can just kind of ignore him because he can't come back here. All right, so we have 2 different pathways. We got straight, which leads to the boss, and then we have left, which is actually the pathway that we didn't take last time. At that one like intersection, we did have the ability to go left. This is that pathway. So this is actually if you wanted to exit out of the cave and not fight the boss. But alternatively, there is also another drop up here that spawns every time. Every time you come in the ice tunnels, you're going to have a drop up here. So you do want to kind of backtrack and go get it if you can before you go fight the boss. So we're going to grab that real fast. Looks like we're clear. So this drop is located at 33.6, 36.8. Nice. Black leggings BP. Probably super expensive. One little helpful thing to mention too, one helpful tip. The ice worms do actually drop black pearls, as you can see here, just like death worms. They do drop some black pearls, so you can get a few black pearls from here if you want to keep them, of course, and stuff. But I don't really recommend farming them here. It's not the most ideal. But yeah, so we're gonna go left this time, and we're gonna come all the way up here. We can ignore him as well. Okay, so once you get here in the water, you are going to have the option to go straight, but we actually want to go left here because there is a drop over here in this corner that spawns. And this is located at 33.6 and 39 longitude. All right, not too bad. It's pretty good. So now we're going to go left here. And this is the pathway that's going to lead to the boss. So before we go down this waterfall, a couple things to keep in mind. There is water beneath us that will prevent us from taking fall damage. So if you were doing this by yourself with no like tame, and maybe you're uncryoing like a tame in here, you can jump down this waterfall and not take damage. I'm about to show you that now. This is where the Ice Queen is going to spawn. We are going to immediately get out of the water. And what you're going to notice if you're on a Pyromane is that you cannot pass this little invisible barrier. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to whistle your tame and have it follow you, like out in front and quickly, because the ice worm is going to spawn in pretty fast here. And you'll actually be able to get it to go past that invisible wall. And then you can fight the Ice Queen with your Pyromane, or whatever you brought with you, of course. If they, for whatever reason, like ever kind of like patch that out and you're unable to do it, you can always shotgun the Ice Queen just off the back of your Pyromane over there. Even if you're sitting in the water, and you have less armor, you can still shotgun the Ice Queen if you need to and kill it. You, as long as your Pyromane's not really low on health, you should be perfectly fine. To just shotgun the Ice Storm to death. And another little tip too, the strength of the Ice Queen actually scales off how many players are in this fight with you. So the more people you bring, the harder it will be. So make sure that you're prepared. But all right, now that it's down, you know, pretty easy, not hard to take down with a Pyromane. We're gonna have 4 drops that spawn in this this room, 4 extra drops. So I'll go ahead and give you the coordinates just in case. This one's located at 32.8, 41.2. Nothing too crazy, but we'll take it. Got another drop over here to the right. 33.3, 41.6. Again, all these drops are pretty easy to find, but I'm going to go ahead and just give you the coordinates in case you guys need them. They are all right here in this room, but this one's located at 32.5 and 42. Pretty nice. Take it. And the last drop is right here at the end. And this one's going to be located at 32.7, 42.4. And that is all the loot. So that is all the drops that we get here in this cave. We have 2 more things to go over. So here to the right is actually going to be the exit, but here in front of us is actually going to lead to the artifact. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that real quick. We're just going to come down this pathway. There's nothing in here that you'll have to fight, thankfully. So once you're this far, you're good. There's going to be this really, really cool looking room with this dead / unconscious Giga that they actually animated to look like it's breathing. It's really cool. And here we are. This is the artifact of the pack. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then we're going to head on out of here. And I am going to go ahead and show you what the exit actually looks like, because it is a little bit different than what you'd probably expect. So we're just going to go back up the path we came. So once you get right here, just going to make a left down this pathway here. And there is going to be some water up ahead. So our Pyromane is going to lose its armor. Both of these pathways here lead to the same area, so you can safely take either direction you want. All right, so that is going to be it for the full walkthrough of the Glacier Cave on Ragnarok Ascended. I hope you found this video helpful, and with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.